Hello, friends. I've been thinking about how to share the things that I've found on YouTube with you in a way that's respectful to it, but also gives you a chance to kind of have a seat next to me as I do it, and I figured this would work. The first clip I'm going to show you is part of an interview with an artist by the name of Tom McDonald. Some of you may know him from his hit that's been at the top of Billboard for 2 weeks now called Facts. Check that out if you haven't. It's pretty fun, and it really says what a lot of people are feeling, and it's all from a place of love. One of the things about Tom is that he really found love and light, and he used to be in a dark place, and he's now following the light. And that's a really beautiful thing. So I ask you to watch this clip of him, and then after it, I'm going to just give you some of my feedback on it. All right, let's get into it.
It was kind of a fucked up situation, honestly. Like, it's like kind of embarrassing, but like I used to make the same type of music that I sort of am critical of now in hip hop. Like, I used to make tons of records about cars and clothes and drinking and partying and drugs and girls and all that shit. Like, I was emulating what my favorite rappers were doing in my music, which I think a lot of people do that when they first start out. So I did that for a while, but the problem was, like, I wasn't just like emulating it creatively. I started like living like that. And I was like drinking all the time and partying all the time and valuing the wrong shit, which led to like a pretty acute stint with like alcoholism. Like, I was an alcoholic for like a long time, like, and it was like gnarly.
But
like,
those bars were fire.
yeah, yeah, it was hard.
Bars were fire.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm so old that I was like, bars?
Yeah, was that like a
Bars.
double entendre that you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fire. So I started like emulating that lifestyle, which led down to like just a wicked stint with alcoholism, and that accumulated into like a massive mental break. Like, I got home from the club one night at like 3 a.m. and I was laying in bed, and I had like Jimmy Fallon or some shit on my laptop to just fall asleep. And all of a sudden, like, I had this weird rush of something. I'm not sure what it was. And I got to get out of bed, and it wasn't like the drunk wobbles. It was like I turned my head and the whole room went like, and then my heart starts pounding in my chest. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking die. I'm having a fucking heart attack. Like, what the fuck is going on? And I spent from 3 a.m. till 9 a.m. the next day, like walking from my bedroom to my bathroom. I'd look in the mirror. I was so white, I didn't even recognize myself. And I'd walk.
Sounds like he was having a panic attack. And I think one of the reasons why I enjoy listening to him talk about stuff is he shares experiences that are, like you said, embarrassing, but a lot of us have these things. And what's so great about him is that he talks how it is, and he shares his life with you, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything. And he talks about being an alcoholic, he talks about being an addict, and this is a pretty moving interview. When my wife and I watched it, we really were like, man, we really connect with this guy because he speaks to us in a way that nobody else does. And then the music that he makes is about positivity, and he just sees the world in a way that is kind of refreshing. Not a lot of people do. So, yeah, let's watch a little more of this.
Back to my bedroom, and it was dark, and I turned the lights on. And then by the time I got back to the bathroom, back to my bedroom, the lights were bothering me, and I turned the lights off. Like, I was losing it. I was just losing my mind. So I had this big mental break, and I was like laying on the floor, and I called my mom, and she didn't answer, and I left her like a really scary voicemail on her phone. Like, I need help. Like, something's, going, something's going south. So like my ma ended up, like, I went to all these doctors, and they put me on all these pills. Like, they put me on Ativan, they put me on Seroquel, they put me on like all this different types of shit, Cipralex, and nothing was helping. I was just like mentally not there. I couldn't talk on the phone. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't exercise. I was like, I couldn't eat. Like I'd wake up in the morning, I'd fry one egg, and I'd eat one egg a day, and I'd be like gagging trying to get one egg down. I was so sick. So this whole thing.
And this was
It's not uncommon for people that are really depressed to not be able to eat. And I've never been so bad that I could only eat one egg a day, but I know what it's like to not want to eat and have to force yourself to do it. It's a horrible feeling. And Tom's sharing the truth about the shit that he's been through, and that's really great because not a lot of people are willing to be this vulnerable. He's also an independent artist. He's not signed to a label. But I think being honest and raw about who you are and what you've been through, being genuine and authentic, that's what counts. And applaud him for doing it. He really is a role model in that sense.
mental thing going on.
Yeah, it was like some sort of like acute anxiety, depression, like just totally dissociated from the world around me. Like it was gnarly. So this went on for like 10 months. I had to, my ma got like a friend of mine to break into my house, kidnap me, take me to the airport, put me on a plane and send me home.
How old were you?
This is like 6 years ago. So like 28 or 29.
Wow.
So yeah, so I went back home and lived with my ma for like.
He's Canadian. I guess he was in LA. His partner's name is Nova Rockefeller, and she's an excellent producer and rapper and artist in her own right, and she produces all of his videos for him. The first video that Chris and I saw by him that we lost our minds to, it's called Dear Rappers, and it's the kind of thing that you have to watch the video with somebody that's never seen it before and watch their reaction, because it is so unbelievable, all the things that he's saying. It's like he did it like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's what set him on the path that he's on now. And I had no idea who he was until about a week or two ago, and then I started looking into who he was, and he's an interesting guy. I think you're gonna. I hope you like it. I hope you like him.
10 months, and it was tough, dude. Like I said 2 things to her every day. I'd wake up in the morning, she'd say, "How you doing?" I'd say, "Not good." She'd go to work. She'd come home from work. She'd say, "How you doing?" I'd say, "Not good." And I'd go to bed. And when I was laying in bed at night, man, I'd have like a podcast playing on my phone, a show on my laptop, because if I wasn't totally surrounded by something, like the silence, I would have killed myself.
Jesus.
Like it was horrible.
You felt truly suicidal.
Yeah. Every minute of every day. Like, and then I ended up going to the doctor, and I was like, "Hey, like, I haven't said this in such basic terms to a doctor yet, but like, if you don't give me something right now to like take the edge off, I'm gonna kill myself. Yeah. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna kill myself today if you don't give me something." Damn. So he gave me some like kick-ass, like Ativan, Xanax type shit. And I went home and took it, and
was it the anxiety or the depression?
it was both.
Both, right?
It was constant all the time.
Above.
Yeah.
Answer is D.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So
Hey, man. So we're like scared?
No, because sometimes you don't know if it's depression or anxiety or
It's all the same shit.
Well, yeah.
Well, it was a bunch
deal
of
with
different
that?
shit that all formed this inner turmoil. It was like fucking weird. So I got home and I took this pill that he gave me, and like 30 minutes later I had chilled out, and for like the first time in like 10 months, I fucking felt like myself. Damn. And I was like, holy shit, like I remembered like who I was. Like I hadn't made music, I hadn't talked to my friends, like nothing. I was like, when you hear people say, "Oh, he's a shell of who he used to be," like I always sort of roll my eyes at like abstract shit like that. And this was that. Damn. Like I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I look like me, but I don't fucking recognize me. So I took that pill, and
Anybody that's struggled with depression or any sort of mental health pretty much knows exactly what he's talking about when you look in the mirror and you say, "It looks like me, but I don't know who that person is, or it doesn't feel like me." It's a horrible place to be, and no one likes to be there. And it's amazing that he was able to find something that helped him like that. It's very rare that you're able to find something that helps you immensely. And within like a day, he's like, he remembered who he was, and that's so powerful. And if you've ever lost yourself and found yourself again, like I have, like he has, you'll know what that's like. And to be able to share that story is huge.
Sort of, I got a hold on like who I was, and I just fucking had a death grip on it. And I just took, the pills for a very short period of time so I could get comfortable feeling in my own body again. Cut off the pills, went to therapy, did a lot of research and reading about mental illness, exercised all the fucking time, cut out all caffeine, all fast food, no soda, no cigarettes, no weed, no alcohol, nothing.
Damn.
Like stone cold sober. And sort of like as the smoke started to clear, I was like, I don't want to make music anymore that's going to influence people to go down the same path that I did, because it was so fucking destructive to me. And I feel like that type of music, like if you listen to it, that's fine. I'm critical of it, but like I'm not like don't listen to it. Just understand what you're listening to.
Yep.
It's like this is branding and corporate initiatives and marketability.
And what he's talking about there is about hip hop, but if you look at any electronic music, the money to be made around it is never just the music. It's when you do an event, it's not even the ticket sales, it's how much the bar rings or the merch that you sell. Or if you're running a venue, it's not just that. Most of those places back in the day, they would, a lot of the venues would have people that would sell drugs in them, whether it was Peter Geisha and Limelight and Tunnel, or it was pick your other night in New York City that had music. There was some drugs being sold. So whether it's drugs or alcohol, music has always been tied with those things. And I've always had issue with it because I grew up listening to golden era hip hop, and it was all about being positive and lifting yourself up and learning about history and empowerment. It eventually became about bragging about money and stuff like that, but I don't know, that's just not art to me. That's just content or product, which is fine if that's what you want to do, but that's not what I'm interested in.
If you understand that, then I think you're immune to a lot of the negative effects that you can experience from that type of shit. So, so I would just had this like, this come to Jesus moment where like I had an epiphany and I was like, I don't want to make that shit no more. I want to, instead of making music that's going to erode people's sort of like morality, like I want to make music that's going to inform people about shit and wake people up and empower people. And that was sort of the moment where I was like, fuck it. I'm going to make music about the shit that I'm truly interested in, which is not cars and clothes and bullshit. It's politics. It's the truth behind, it's Truman
facade,
Show shit.
yeah.
It also makes you different.
Yeah.
Like otherwise.
And with that, that's Tom McDonald. I encourage you to check out his video called Hey Rappers. Absolutely brilliant. I haven't watched it in a while, so I might do a reaction video for it at some point. But it's great. He says everything I've been feeling about hip hop, honestly. He's got that going on. And he said he had a come to Jesus moment. And this is the most bizarre thing about me enjoying him, is that he is full on Christian, and I'm okay with it. I usually have a problem with like Bible thumpers and stuff. And he talks about it a lot, both him and Nova bring it up a lot. But it's okay because it's their faith and it's what drives them. And it's honestly, it's about love and it's about positivity and it's about picking yourself up when you fall down and knowing that you've got family and knowing that you're loved. Even though he's got black contact lenses while he's doing it and like he looks absolutely insane, it's all positive, and he's coming from a place of being genuine, and it's really a breath of fresh air in all of the vapid nonsense of content that's out there. It's about boobs and tits and sex and stuff. Like, goddamn, oh man, there's just a whole bunch of stuff out there that's just absolutely ludicrous. But he's fine, right? He's fine. It's crazy. All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this, and see you soon. Cheers.